weekly coloring session, and I have to tell Google to shut up. Hey, Google, stop timer. Uh, hey, Google, stop. And it keeps telling me I have to turn orientation, but I don't want to. Oh, buddy, crap. All right, well, now that means I have to loosen this up and do orientation is locked. I'm live. Well, okay. There we go. Here we go. There we go. Sorry. Always something. Anyway. There we go. Here we go. There we go. Sorry. Always something. And I finished this the other day. I think it turned out nice. Um, there doesn't seem to be any light here, or I can't tell if there is, or if it's the chat box over it that's making it look dark. But I'll keep the main coloring in the frame. And then I did this the other day when I didn't have a lot of energy. There were just these. I find I'm really enjoying doing lettering because I like doing the little graphic designs inside of them. I finished this and said I could have added a shadow, and so I went back and added a little shadow. It's very subtle, but it's there. And these are the pages. I just want to show you some quickly. I do that every time. There's no real swear words in here. There's some test pages. There's some color swatch pages back here with little crayons on them, like this. I added some extra pages in for that. And there's some coloring tips in the back. And just a real quick blow through of some of the designs, which are really nice. And if you don't want to color the lettering, if you don't like it, you can use these for like frames. You can color this, cut out the white area with the lettering in it, and put collages of photos behind it. All right. These are roughly, I think they're 9 by 12. I have to double check that. And you can map them up to slightly larger size. What I'm holding in my hand is like a piece of acetate, and that is to protect the next page. I also want you to notice that the designs are one-sided. We only have one design. The back is empty, because that way you can use markers and stuff like that and don't have to worrying about ruining a page. And this is the one I want to finish today before I move on. So that's what I'm going to do. I have to pick my markers up because they're in the way of this. But I'm going to finish this today. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to try and bring this down a little closer. Oh, I can finally handle it. I'm going to bring it down a little closer. And then I'm going to tighten that. I don't think it can go down much more. And then I'm going to bring this in a little tighter. A little closer to, because the camera is right there. So that should get it over it. Is it too close? All right, that's centered. Whoops. Hope that's not too close. Let's see. I'm waiting. I'm on a delay here, so hang on. That might be too close. Yeah, it's too close. Let's bring it up a little bit. All right, let's see what now. Oh, how's that look? Come on. Well, that's not it. Their delay's gotten a little longer. I thought it used to be 5 seconds, but it looks like it's more like 10 or 12 now. Yeah, let's bring that up a little bit more. Because I don't want to have to move this book. Wonder if I can move it around. All right, let's try it that way. And I'm going to just fold it under. I don't like doing that, but it's not going to hurt anything. There, that way I can move it around. And you can still see what I'm doing. I am going to bring it up higher, though. There, let's try that. Okay? Let me see how that looks. That should be right down on the center. Because, you know, you aim your camera at it centered, but your lens is never in the center. My God, does that seem like it's getting closer? The heck's going on? I lifted that up. That's just strange. That's me. It's getting closer. How can it do that? Well, let's see if we can get this. This is going to drive me crazy. This is right here. So this should be right here. Okay. All right. I wanted to do the lettering first, but I guess I'll do this first. Okay. So what do I want to do here? I really, honestly don't know. I think what I'm going to do is start with kind of a violet blue. And then, now remember, these dry darker on this paper. It's thin and it absorbs the color very, very quickly. All right, so here's the color here that I just marked on here. And we're going to see what this does. Right? Yeah, see, it's darker. And that's because this thin and, I don't want to call it cheap, it's just inexpensive paper, pulls the moisture faster, and of course that means it pulls the pigment faster because the pigment is in the moisture, the water. These are water-based, but they are not water color markers. I thought they were, but they're not. I'm going to slowly move into the purples on this so that it matches down here. I don't know. Let's see. I have to keep... I don't know why this is so close. I wonder if somehow I have... Ooh, I screwed up my other line. I wonder... Hi. Hello. Welcome. Peanuts. Hello, Peanuts. I wonder why this is so close. I keep lifting the thing and... Now, I'm also going to grab... Where'd he go? I have a feeling I'm going to use this. I'm mixing media now. This is an acrylic marker. And this is a white one. And I'm going to use him to lighten this up. Just a little bit. Okay? And you can't see me doing it, can you? I've got to get this up. I don't know why it's doing this to me. But it's getting big closer. What the dickens? All right, I swear, I'm lifting this up. And this is getting actually closer. Now, so let's drop it down and see what happens. All right, just let it fall all the way down. I think somehow my camera is adjusting itself and I have no idea how it's doing it. Um, Problem is that you're not going to be able to see me if I'm this close. I shouldn't have messed with this stupid thing. It worked. But I'm going to go ahead with this, and hopefully you'll be able to see it, because I'm trying to aim it under the lens. And yeah, I did go back over all of this with a black pen, so I'll do the same thing here. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. This is not supposed to adjust it that way. I had, I'm just so confused how this is happening. I'm going to try one more time. Okay. And I'm going to hope for the best. Well, that's a little bit better. Well, I did them all. Okay. I have a feeling I'm going to use this pen up. I wish I could buy multiples of those. Now, I'm going to go back over this with the same one and make it darker as a shadow, right? Just a few times. It's interesting how the white kind of controls that, because of course the white is sort of like blocking the absorption because it's more opaque. I'm just trying to create some depth by doing this. I don't think I got white on there, interestingly enough. Maybe even on this one. I always do that. I can't, honestly, guys, I don't know what's going on here. All right, I'm going to wait a second. I'm going to put my finger right here and see what this stupid thing does. Okay, so this is the center here, right here. All right, let's see if it's going to move. See that little blue line? I must have dropped my, I have to touch that up. Okay. All right. I don't want to have to worry about that. I'm going to try and get this up higher again and see what happens. But I don't understand why this is automatically focusing. It's refocusing. All right. I wonder if I can blank it off for a second. Hang on while I do that. Oh, I think I got it. Maybe. See if that'll blank it and keep it from focusing, and then maybe it'll refocus. I can't get it any higher. I mean, this, okay, I'm stuck with it, guys. I can't get it any higher. And it's readjusting, and I didn't know it was even capable of doing that. Okay. Since, okay, do I want to bring this? I kind of do. I like this color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the top of this coloring in this color. All right? And hopefully you can see me. I'll move this as much as I can so you can see. Nope. You go right down here. You should be right here. There we go. All right. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. I've never had it do that before. but you can at least watch. This is very close up, but this is going to force me to have to move my paper and my book constantly, which I kind of don't want to do. But I'm not going to have a choice. Since that is covered in. Okay, I got to move it over. Give it a second to realign. Oops, 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 there we go. Okay, a little bit more and you can see through the D. I like to get these just kind of ragged a little. All right. Now I'm going to remove this. Too bad it didn't have a little laser pointer on it. And I could follow the laser pointer. And yes, I'm going to do it this way instead of this way because that's the way it's being colored, and I want to keep that same. I have no problem with the marks that are made, these linear marks that are made when you color with felt tip pens this way, markers, whatever you want to call them. Some people do, and they'll color differently. But I will keep them as consistent as I can. Sometimes I'll actually move the paper and color them this way to create kind of a swirl too. I did that in a heart video that I did on Valentine's Day. I did a live drawing of a heart. And then I'm going to go to a turquoise. Now, what I want, I'm going to put this one back here. I think he goes here. Yes, he does. And I just missed that big time. I'd like to have something that's turquoise, but towards the blue, like... Okay, that's the one I just used, and I don't know if this is a big enough color change here. It may not be. I need it a little more turquoise. This might be. Those are too green. This might be. That's it. Okay, so that's 3 up and 2 in. So that's this one right here. Yep, that's how I do. I got them lined up in a grid so I know where they are. Because these guys, I don't even know what brand this is, to tell you the truth. I buy all sorts of pencils and stuff to do all sorts of things with. And test them out, and if I like them, I use them. If I don't, you know. Problem is that if I do really like them, good luck finding them again when they're like this. But there's no number, no color, no nothing. But if they have numbers on them, I will put those numbers on, and that helps me identify what's what. See, if this falls and they all fall out, this takes me maybe 10 minutes at most to put everything back where it belongs, because it's got numbers. Now these don't, but it's a very small set, and this is easy enough, okay? Only problem would be these 2 colors right here, all right? I'd have to test them. But everything else has numbers, and that's great. And then I've taken to putting down the brand name so that if I do like it, I can find it again. And he needs a holder, but okay. So let's go, and let's go back to the colored word here, and let me see. I think you should be okay. And not quite. All right. That might do it. If it doesn't, you're just going to have to wait till I get there. And I'm not going to really do any blending. I'm just going to kind of overlap this over the kind of periwinkle color just a little. Very kind of not even, just like I said, I like it when they... And I'm not going to do any shading on the inside of these. They're very tight. It'll close up the color. And I want to put some like dots and some designs in there. I may go over this because it's turning out, and I keep forgetting that these lay down darker than the pen, than my color chart does, because of the paper. And that's all right. Oops, I went on by a little bit there. I just want to make sure you can see it. Let's get this so you can see the whole word. Ah. There we go. Now that brings in most of those colors in there. And I'll put this back. Now I have some small fine tip pens over here that I'm going to use for the next few little guys here, like these. I could have used them in here, but I wanted that, and I don't think I've got that color in here. These are just assorted little sets that I pick up. What do I want to do there? I want to, okay, so I want to go into kind of a mauve-y, ooh, I think I got him. Maybe a mauve-y purple. Now he's going to be dark, so I'm definitely going to have to use the white pen. There's, no, that's too lavender. This one's good. Now this one, okay, is the Arteza, which is this, so I think that's this little guy right here. And he's going to be dark. So let's start here. I like to start in the right way. I swear, did this come down again? This is adjusting. I hate you. If I wanted you to do it, which I have wanted you to do it for a while now, you wouldn't do it, but now I don't want you to do it, and you're doing it. Now this is going to be dark, all right? Oh, good, not as dark as I had thought. So yay, I'm happy. Excellent, but I want it lighter, so I'm going to come in with the white. I still want it lighter. And no, there actually wasn't. Well, there is actually, but it's a little too intense. It's a little too pigmented, and it's more pink. So to get the color I actually want, I'm going to, this is the color I want, but it's not the shade, okay? Or the tint. It's actually not the tint, I should say. Shade is with black added, tint is with white added. Okay, so if that makes any sense to you. All right. Now I'm going to move one more over. I really do. That would help me a lot. If I had a little red dot. I'm going to put a little, it'd be great if it worked on the pens, but they're not what's shooting the camera. A little red dot on my pens. I'd probably get shot. People would see that little laser. think there was a gun involved. I live out in the country. You don't mess with gun things, you know. Gun signs, gun indications, all that stuff. Don't play. It's just all shot out there. Anybody here coloring with me? Or just watching? And you're welcome to do either. And if you like the idea of coloring with me, you can buy this book on Amazon. I think this one's $9.95. Yeah, it's not cheap. But I do good work. And there's 30 pages in here, and they are not simplified. And they're beautiful designs when you finish them. They're not childlike, and now, this is interesting. I have 3 here and 2 here. It's very interesting. I'm going to paint these, I'm going to make these a different color. So I'm going to go to this one. I don't know what color, and I have to think about that, and I want to do it before I leave this area, because it will influence the next color. Between these 2 colors, it's going to influence where I go next. Now, I am trying to get to pinks and, you know, oranges, and I want to repeat this orange here by the time I get up here with maybe a peach or something. And I didn't plan this out. A lot of times I will know a color palette before I start. And then, of course, you know, I'm the rainbow kid. I love using all the colors. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. You give me all the colors. Just don't mess with me. But I'm going to finish. Oh, you barely saw that. Sorry about that. And again, yes, I'm letting my fingernails rest. I do the press-ons. I mean, they're so good now, and they, you know, they look. I actually think they look better than acrylic nails or gel nails, frankly. And I can change them more often and do them myself. Now, I like to match them to my outfits. And since I'm out, at least... Ooh, here's a spare one. Let's leave that alone and do him in the same color. I wish I'd had some down here. I didn't. But that's okay. I barely got this on, so this is fine. He'll just look like the black is a little lighter there. I know they need a delay in broadcast, but it doesn't do me any favors. I kind of have to wait and make sure I'm in your eyeball range. I think I am. I think I got it lined up now. I just bought a 72 set. Actually, I thought it was a 240 set. I got it on TikTok. And, you know, they like to kind of suck you in with a really low price. And then the picture of the biggest set they've got. And I know better, right? So I knew it was going to be more expensive, blah, blah, blah. But I also didn't know that they were... I was looking at them. I am almost sure I hit the 240 button. But I didn't get 240 pens, so I'm not real happy with this vendor. And I put in a review, and I'm not going to bother with it. I just went ahead and... After I got them all swatched, I decided I liked the pens. First I thought they were too pastel. And I'm not using those today. They're going to go in my bedroom for when I feel like doodling. You know, in the middle of the night or sometimes, you know. Sometimes I get a little bit of rest and then I just want to kind of play around and do a little doodle or something. You're just not going to go in there for me today, are you? Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with that one. I don't want to go to a more blue... Now, let me think. Maybe You know, I'm going to leave them alone for a minute. I'm going to leave them alone. And, oh, do I like these this dark? They do kind of pull up this color. And if I leave them this dark, then what I could do is do the dots like I did before, white instead of black. See, I've got little dots down the center. Now these are going to have to be done again because this is not completely opaque. So it's going to look like, why will you not move over? This might be okay. I think I'm going to leave those. I don't think I'm going to lighten them up. But these two, I'm going to use the same color and I am going to lighten it up. So I'm going to pull him out again. And get back in there. I am, and you know what? This, because of this odd little guy here, I'm just going to make him dark as well. And maybe he'll just kind of, I don't know what that was. It was just to even everything out, probably. I got in there and made this little guy and then wait a minute. I have all this space left over. But those are the kind of little vagaries that I like about one-of-a-kind pieces, all right? And if you have something that's coming off a machine, you know, each one of them is going to be perfectly alike. To me, that is senseless. Okay, I mean, if you don't mind that, but I like the idea of hand-drawn originals. They are unique, one-of-a-kind things. This is the whole point. Do I want to use the brush, or I'm going to use this? Well, I got the brush. Let's see how good I am at it. Nope. Not feeling all that steady today. Oh, God, I can't get him. Now, I didn't draw that. What am I doing? Idiot. I'm not an idiot. I gotta quit calling myself that. Hey, wait a minute. You can't see that. There. I'm so sorry. So how are you today, Peanuts? You doing okay? Having a good Saturday? And are you coloring with me? No, you don't have to color my book. You can color something else. I'm not giving a lot of tips today, am I? I'm not thinking of any. I'm just coloring away. I keep opening that up. All right, now. Was it this or the dark? Yeah, I'm going to kind of make these like a frame. So let's... Ooh, that's kind of neat. It's kind of linear, too. I like it. Okay, I like that. Because flowers often have... Oh, I like that. You know what I'm going to do? Let me think. Yeah, I want it down here at the bottom. It's going to separate this more, all right? I'm going to do kind of like that. Let me look. Let me see how that works. Do I like it? I'll put this a little heavier in here so he gets it too. All right. It'll just be lighter. Lighter. Need some more coats there. Keep going. All right. It gives you a little kind of a shading effect as well. I'm going to keep going around here so you can see. I hope you can see. That's okay, it's black. I'll cover it up. It will be gone at the end. I like this lining here. It creates a nice texture. It creates movement at the same time. See how it kind of makes you feel like it's moving? That's excellent. We're going to see how it looks with the dots here. Yeah. I like it. It's very effective. It's very nice. I'm going to have to keep looking for more of these. I need this. This could be a very effective tool for me. I honestly don't use markers much, and I like them, so that's why I like to use them in coloring books. Because if I'm doing, you know, a real, I don't want to use the word real, but if I'm doing a piece of art, I like to use archival materials, and these aren't, they're not. You know, I mean, I kind of look at it this way. If it doesn't say anything about its light fastness, then I'm going to assume that's an indication that they don't test and that there's a possibility, a very big possibility, that these will, these are fugitive. Now I want to go into, and I want this big one to be kind of pink. What am I going to put under here? I may leave that open for a bit. Let's do the big pink thing and see what I want underneath of that. And of course, what I have the bloody hiccups. What pink do I want? I'm going to do that red. I am. And then maybe I can do yellow and orange in here. That's what I'm going to do, exactly. All right, let me get a yellow. Let me get an orange. In fact, I'm going to use these guys because those are tiny. So here's a yellow. Wait. Where is he? 1, 2, 3. No, this was 2 orange. 4, 5. That's this one. And this, is an orange. I don't think this might be orange enough. Let's see. Oh, it is. Let's see. Okay, let's do this. Just, right, one, okay, yellow, 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 yellow. Well, there's nothing I can do about it. It's going to be odd. So I'll just color both of those. And the rest. And then, let's see how this looks. Oh, definitely. Definitely enough of a color change. There we go. Okay, and that will pick up at these oranges here, too. Alright, I just want to put that in there so that I remember that's what I want to do. This is done. Glad I got these small ones because I have tons of these small ones. I bought a huge set. Where are they? Oh, they're over here. Okay, I have another set over here, but I think there was not huge set for me. I think it was, all right, it was this. Okay, what was it? How many was in here? Oh no, these are my Derwents. Okay, this is my Derwent Inktense. Yeah. Oh, good God, these are great. Oh, but it was about this size. And honestly, how many is in here? 36. So yeah, it was maybe 36, 48, somewhere in there. I didn't want the pins. I wanted the tin. I wanted the tin for holding something else. And so I had them. I almost gave them away, but you know, I kept them, and I'm glad I did. They are swatched on here, and they're these. And, you know, these are nice. Okay, so I actually do have some more over here that I can look at if I need a color that's not on these other ones. This is a set all by itself down here. I don't know why I got those. Maybe because they were thin pastels. Because these didn't have a lot of pastels in them, just a few of the regular ones that you see. And this had more. But it was kind of, I don't know. That mauve is worth it, though. Okay, that and, you know, that salmon is worth this whole set, too. Actually, let me switch out the orange here and go more salmon. I did want to go more peach. But in the meantime, there's the red I want right there. Okay. Oh, I keep forgetting you may not be able to see me at all. I'm having this back, and so you can see this whole area. But I'm going to get this red. And he is this one, right? Right, wait. Are you it? Yeah. Wait. That's not right. Hold on. Are you in front of a green? No. Okay. Oh, I know the problems. Okay. 1, 2. Is this it? There it is. Nope. That's not it. Okay. I gotta pull this out. I gotta get to him. These are shorter and I can't. There he is. There he is. Look at that. Cherry red. Hello. All right. Look how tiny that little point is. I don't even know if I can get this out of there. Oh, yep, I can. That's so small. Look at it. And yes, I am circling on this. It's so small. I'm going to leave just a little teardrop right there. Okay? Now, I'm going to get that other, do I want it? Yeah, I'll use that. There's a little darker red here with a little purple. And I'm going to put some little dots right around the outside edge as kind of a little shadow. All right? It gives him a little voluminousness. And then I'm going to do this guy here. I don't know if I'm under, and I kind of have to wait for that thing to follow me. Okay. Now, I'm going to do this a little closer to that edge as I move around. There is sort of a lighting coming from over there, but not really, because over here it's on that side. I shouldn't do that. But sometimes I really don't care. Okay. I'm just shifting it as I go around. You see, it does, you know, it really makes a difference. When you do just a, you know, just a tiny touch. I mean, even from a distance, it has a quality that it wouldn't have if it didn't have those other lines in there. I'm trying to make sure I'm under the thing here. Is that it? I love waiting to see if I'm centered. Stop. Good. Of course, I did that 10 seconds ago, and I have no control over the past now. The past is gone. Alright, now this one, if it would be coming from sort of over there, would be, no, it would be sort of like that. Okay. It's not perfect, but this is a coloring book, and this is for fun. This is not work. I'm not getting paid to do this, and so I'm not going to sweat the small stuff. Lighting isn't really small stuff, but it is right now. All I want is to just get some three-dimensional feel to these. And I don't want to kill myself doing it in such a small area. Because I'm old. And I'm tired. Are we ready? Now it's still coming from there, so he's going to be sort of like this. I am using these little fine needlepoint things. Oh, now this is actually a roller ball, okay? And I count that as a marker because it's like ink or, you know, like a dye or, you know. So I basically call it a marker. Ooh, I think I'll clean that up. The nice thing about adding this dark shading in, and I used a purple, sometimes I'll use browns and even a darker orange on a red, depending, because it will, you know, it desaturates it. And in a shadow, that's what you want to do. You desaturate things, because in a shadow, you have less light. So the less light you have, the less saturation there is. So when you get in, that's why shadows look gray. There's less and less and less and less and less color, because there's less and less and less and less and less light. Now, I think, well, what's that doing? Because that's not me right now. Yeah, it is, because I see that little squiggly. Alright, so this one is going to have it just like all along there, sort of. Let's give it a little curve. Yeah, I'm doing it slow. That's okay. Because this is relaxing. You know, I mean, I'm that's the other thing. When you do this as a job, you get, you know, time is money. You get, I was a freelancer. I got paid by the job. I didn't get paid by the hour. And the faster you were, the more money you made. Okay? So, my whole thing was, let's put you here, where you belong. Wait, you don't belong there, you belong here. There you go. And, there. Now, I'm going to do those last, because I may go to the peach, but I'm going to move these over here and get them out of my way. And then when I'm done here, and then I got to finish this. I don't like to put in, I don't like to do the backgrounds. If I was going to, if I had planned on it, then I would have done the background with pastel. And I would have gotten a little eyeshadow brush, or not brush, but the little sponges, and I would have sanded my pastel into a powder. You can actually buy powders now, but I have so many sets, I just sand them and give myself a little pile of powder, and then I would blend it and make it soft and go in and out. But I don't want to have to fix this, use a fixative on it, and I don't want pastel in the book, because it's, you know, it presses against the back, etc. So I'm not doing anything more than just maybe putting some dots or some patterns back there, if I feel like it. And sometime if I run out and I just want to do black and white, I can come in an area like this and do some Zentangling in the background. Now let's see. Now I want a fuchsia. I still haven't decided on there, and that's not going to get decided until I get this. I have to decide whether I want a bright fuchsia or something kind of tamped down or what. Now, I actually like this color. There's a color right here. It's a little darker. Of course, he's going to get darker. If I maybe want him, ooh, this one might actually work better. And it's a little on the cool side. In other words, I do like that one too, but This one's a little more subtle, I think, and that's kind of what I want. I'm going to try that. I can always do the white over it. I can always kind of fix it up. All right? But I'm going to try this. And let's go this way. I like to go from left to right. I'm right-handed. That keeps me off of the freshest. I actually have, and I haven't been wearing them lately. Hold on a second. There they go. These are made to protect your artwork. I'll show you. Alright. Covers the hand. Keeps any body oils off. I don't know if you can see it, but that is exactly what this is. This is a drawing glove. Alright. So I have one on now. So in case you wonder what that weird thing is. Okay. Let me get back under that camera. If I can find him. Where is he? Right here? Yeah, that should be centered there. Alright. Move over. I moved you. Move over. There you go. Alright. Hang on a second. I think I'm going to use the little guy here. And the reason why is I think I'll be able to stay inside the area better. And I can do the little... Alright, I don't like to color this way. If I'm using colored pencils and stuff, I don't. But there's something that's so reminiscent of being a little kid when you colored this way. In little circles and back and forths and like that. Okay? Instead of doing it so controlled this way. And that is so relaxing to me to color that way. And I can get away with it here. It's not creating, because it's a fine point, it's not creating. And I could get away with it anywhere. This is my coloring book. I'm not going to probably show this to anybody. I mean, it's just for me to have fun in. Now, I know a lot of... Listen, I see some colors. They are fantastic, okay? I save all that energy for my artwork and not my coloring books. Because it's actually... It takes more work. It takes more stress to... people think artwork is just fun. It's... it's not. It's highly stressful. We are constantly trying to push ourselves. And we expect more out of ourselves. As the artist is always harder on themselves than I think practically anybody I know, any other profession. Maybe writers too. I don't know why, but it's true. Yeah, that's what I want. Ooh, I want to do something interesting. I want to shade this. Now, let me think. This worked out perfectly color-wise. Now, I want to darken it down here. What do I want to do that with? I don't want to go to the red, because I got the red. That's enough red there. I don't want to go to the purple. Shoot. Let me see. These are the wrong kind of paper. Let me get a cheap paper. I don't have any. Oh, I gotta... Wait. Nope. I can't find my sketchbook. I'd grab it. It's not quite cheap, but... Oh, shoot. Oh, I have an idea. Let me do it here. I'll just do a little design here. And I'll put this under it. And I'm going to try something. Okay. Let go, let go, let go. Okay. I know you can't see what I'm doing here, but I'll get it up there. I'm just using this page here that doesn't have a design on it, and it isn't going to have anything on the back, okay? But I'm still covering it up. Now, I want this And I'm going to, what I'm thinking is, let's just do a triangle. And I can always come in here and just do a bunch of little geometric designs if I want. I actually enjoy doing geometric shapes and creating images out of them. And that way I can use this as kind of a tester. So what I want to do is I want to see, and I want kind of a peach color. Where did the color chart go for those? What'd I do? I lose those color charts faster than you can blink an eye. They just disappear on me. I don't know how they do it. This doesn't belong to this. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Okay. All right. If I go over here, which one do I want to use? I'm thinking... I'm thinking maybe that one. No, this one. I think that's a little more peachy than this one. I don't want an orange, so I'm not going to use yellow. Let me see. Let me go in. That is 4 in on the second row. That's this guy. Now let's see if you can see this. Are you there? Well, hello. Where are you? Okay, there is my triangle. There he is. All right. I want to darken this down here, but I don't want the same pink. Okay. How is that looking? That's going to do it for me. I think that's going to do it. I think that's good. Okay. I know you can't see it, but that turned out a little darker than I wanted it to. The triangle, and these are a little lighter, and I think it's going to work great here. If not, then I'll just have to come and get a darker one. Now, where are you? I'm sort of lining that up. I have a little thing here, and then that, so I'm kind of using that as my GPS marks. Yes. Yeah, see, I wanted it to kind of pick that red up, but I don't want it to be the red. And I want it to be a little bit darker. And this is going to be really easy to blend in here. Okay? I'm bringing him up here a little bit. Just a little more. And a little more. I'm doing this lightly, because if I did it too dark, I don't know if there's enough. I don't know if there's enough color change in there for me. So I'm going to, this was 4 in. All right, let me go 5 in. Let me see if this one's a little better. This is oranger and redder. Yeah, that's okay. It's still different from there, but it gives me a little bit darker. And I'm just going to just hit it a little bit more until it gets good and dark down there, okay? Now that is kind of white, and it was very subtle, but it's there. That makes me happy. Okay, so these are the 3. You can really see it on the camera. It looks very fluorescent almost, which doesn't bother me, but it doesn't look fluorescent here on the camera. But that is because Samsung's, I'm looking at my phone and watching myself on my other account. Samsung's put a higher saturation on their screen. So when you're looking at colors, just remember that they're more highly saturated on Samsung's. Okay, these are the ends that I want. Now this is the way I used to be coloring. Thousands of pens in my hand like this. Okay, in my ears, in my mouth, when I did colored pencils. But I used to keep, I didn't have the amount of sets, brands. Now, I did have always the largest set of Prismacolors. And that's primarily what I worked in. Back then, I had Caran d'Ache, but I wasn't really fond of them. The ones that I had, and I was too young at that time, and inexperienced. I didn't know that they probably had other sets and something. But the set that I had that I got was a very hard lead. And I'm a Prismacolor person. Prismacolor is kind of soft and buttery, and, it's blends nicely. And those Caran d'Ache however, they were watercolor pencils. And they were, so they were water soluble, and I used them for that purpose, and that's primarily why I bought them. But the sets that I buy now, and I have a lot of, how do you pronounce it, Brutfuner? I like Brutfuner stuff, the colored pencils and stuff. And, you can sit there and say all you want that, they're not they're not like that. Well, to a point, nothing is, and to a point, everything is. But for me, if I sell a piece, an original, to a client, they are always framed, and they are always framed behind UV glass, and they are always informed to never hang their work in direct sunlight, never ever outside, that type of thing. They're informed of how to handle a watercolor. And I'm going to do this exactly the same way I did that one. I'm going to put this little layer in here. Ooh. See that? That's lint from the paper. That's the paper breaking down. Alright, there's just too much pigment in it. Okay, and it doesn't like that. It's too much for it. It's already soaked up, and so it's, having a little tantrum. And I got what I wanted. So, here we go. Yeah, I wanted to pick that red up, but I didn't want that dark red. And this was just perfect. It's kind of a softer red-orange. Yep. That little dark corner down there is just all I wanted. Okay. And we'll do this again, and again, and again until these three are done. Then I got to decide what to put under here, and then I'm going to decide whether I want this yellow and orange. I'm thinking already I may switch to peach and maybe a cream color. Something. Oh, don't want that. Want this. This is also being very satisfying to me. This ability to be scribbly. Because I loved coloring like this when I was a little kid. This is the whole thing, just the scribbling. This is the repetitive motion that makes this so calming. But there's a lot of people very, very into coloring. It's an art form for them. There are some excellent colorists out there, okay? And they are artists all on their own, even though they're using somebody else's design. A lot of times, most comics and cartoons and comic books, they were inked by one person and colored by another, very often. We are a world of specialties. I better get back to this because that's getting kind of scribbly in there. It's kind of not getting colored very well. This was just done with these little fine guys, just purely for my own scribbly 4-year-old coloring pleasure. Okay, I would get down there with my little crayons and stick my tongue out of my mouth and get chapped lips and go for it. I still stick my tongue out when I work. I am 74 years old and I still stick my tongue out. You know, bad habits are hard to break. See, this is almost, it's so close to the same tone. In fact, it is really almost the same tone. And the only reason it looks slightly darker is because it's the second layer, which means there's even more pigment going into that paper, and it's appearing darker. But it's exactly kind of what I wanted. I could have had a little more difference, you know, just a little more, but I would have had to have actually probably mixed the color I exactly wanted. That's why I buy all the colors, because this way I got fairly close to what I wanted without having mix. You don't want to watch mixing colors. That's almost as boring as watching paint dry. Okay? And sometimes you watch paint dry when you watch artists make these. I have a scratch. I have an itch in my arm. There we go. Sorry about that. I had to scratch, itch, whatever it's called. Itchy scratchy. It's got a little dark in here, but once I get some textured dots and stuff, that'll maybe, I may do these linear, and that might pop that whole blue up. As a matter of fact, you know what? I know what I want too. I want kind of a greeny, and there he is, right there. There. Let's, oh, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. This is markers. These are not opaque. That's not going to work. Got the hiccups again. But, who's to say I can't grab, but he's not the one I want, actually. I wonder if this little guy will do it. Nope, nope, nope. He's transparent, too. He's not a marker. He is a paint pen, but he's transparent. You mean markers are, now this is an acrylic marker, but he is going to be more opaque. Now, okay. Yeah, if I want to get what I want, that's why I call myself mixed media and watercolor and colored pencil. Because sometimes I will do just pure watercolor. Sometimes I will do just a pure colored pencil. But often, if I want to do something and it requires mixing a media, I'm going to do a mixed media. I'm prepping in case you wonder what these little sounds are. I'm actually prepping the pen. Now, I'm going to wipe him off a little bit so he's not so juicy and thick. And then I'm going to see, yeah, that's exactly what I want. And then I'm going to, okay. Now I'm going to let that dry. And I'm going to see if that will do for what I want to do. It's flowing better now. So we'll let it dry a little bit. No, it's going to need another coat. It's a good thing my hands are steady today. I really didn't want fat lines here. But the blue, I didn't care for it. It was flat and pink. There. And there. Now that's, ooh, that's nice now. And since I'm here, oh, you can't see me. I'm so sorry. You saw the back end of it. I'm sorry I keep forgetting about this. I'm used to having it cover this whole area. And I thought I wanted to get a little closer, and somehow I don't know what the dickens I did. But I got closer and closer and closer and closer, and I couldn't stop it. I'm just trying to figure out how. Oops. And you notice I'm not going straight down the line. This way, I kind of break it up and it's at least even. You know what I mean? Now here, doesn't matter, because it's on the end. Yeah, this is, yeah, that's definitely making me happier. It brightened it up and it pulled it forward. Excellent. I'm going to have to be careful because I could easily, oh, you can't see again. I'm so sorry. There should be a buzzer every time I go out from underneath the little focus this has somehow managed to create. Oh, you're still not seeing. What's going on here? Now what? Where did you go? Why are you way over here? The camera is here. This should be coming down to here. All right, now stop and see if my fingertip is down here. So that's, this drives me nuts. I'm so used to cameras with, you're looking directly out the lens, okay? There's a name for it. Now I can't remember what that is. You're looking through the lens itself. You are seeing what the camera is seeing. This is not. This is the fake thing that they put on the cheaper cameras and stuff. And it's not, that is not actually focused on where this is. And that does not help me when I'm this far out. I literally can't pull that up anymore. I'm out of a rod to pull it up on. I don't even know if it really needs double on there. I'm just going to let that sit there for a second. I'll leave this out, just in case. I'm going to go back to these guys here. But that turned out nice. Go up. Oh my God. I have lots of smart devices in my house. Mostly plugs and bulbs, okay? So I can make things smart by the little plugs. You can plug anything into the plugs, and then you can command it to go on and off. And lights, with the bulbs, you can have them at anywhere from 2% to 100%. Hey, you know who set the lamp at 47 point. I swear to God, they'll do so it's 47.5. You can't see the difference. I can't. I can barely see the difference between 40% and 50%. But it's just fun to know it'll do it. And I have a smart air conditioner, and God, that is the greatest invention since God knows sliced bread. For me, for people like me, I'm disabled and I'm primarily wheelchair bound. I can walk of maybe 10 feet carefully with a couple of canes at some effort. Here we go. And so at nighttime especially, when as things start to cool down, it's just easier to just change tell it to cool. And then if I get really hot or something, I can tell it to turn on. I love it. I got a door lock that's smart, and oh, that's wonderful. I don't have to get up. It's a lot of work for me to get up and answer the door when I can just tell somebody, just come on in. The door's unlocked now. I'll usually, they can usually hear it too, because it's that kind. What's it called? And those make noise when they lock and unlock, which is also sort of a safety factor at the same time. They know you're locked, and But smart devices are just my vacuum robot. Oh, I love him. My Felix, I love him. Okay. No, he doesn't do heavy cleaning, but I have to have someone who has to come in and do that. Like, what do they call them? Deep cleaners, deep cleaning. When they get down to scrub the floor and stuff like that. I can't do that. If I get down to scrub the floor, I do not get back up again. I have to call paramedics. Okay? And we don't want to do that. I'm falling enough as it is. I don't need to call them anymore. I fell 3 times in the last 2.5 months. That's not good. But it's just some of the things that you have to adjust to as you get older. You're not as sure-footed, and you got to deal with it. If you're already damaged, as you get older, it just gets worse. Okay, just very lightly here. This is almost like doing colored pencil at this point. And very nice. These are much easier to blend, these little fine points, than the big guys. If you look close, I'm sure you would see all the marks and the lines, but you'd have to have your nose on the paper almost. Okay. Let's get you in there. I hope that's dark enough. I don't really want to come in and get darker. I could. I actually have a pen that is one, just out of curiosity. Let's see, let's do it on this one, the center one. Yeah, see, that's too dark. That's way, 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 way too dark. Okay? That's all right. I'm going to fix him. We'll only be on that one. There. That's okay. It is considerably more definitive. I'll put him out. I'll think about it. But I've really pushed this paper quite a bit at this point. All right, I have to wait and see if the camera's the right place. If I don't do it this way, then I don't know. All right, a little bit over this way. Hello, come on. Come on. There you go. Annoying. Not you. No. Wrong one. Okay. There we go. Oh, this one's bigger, isn't he? Ooh, fatter down here. I'm going to have to do a little more sweeping, not such little back and forth jerks. At least if I want it to look halfway decent. Okay, that's good. Oh, we just lost some sun just right behind the clouds. I saw that. I'm in Tucson. This is our monsoon season, but we haven't, at least here, where I live in Picture Rocks. I live very close to the monument to Saguaro National Park. I literally drive through a national park to get to my grocery stores and stuff like that. Okay? Um, what was my point? I have no idea. Oh, monsoons. It's our rainy season, okay? We just had, day before yesterday, had the first halfway decent rain, and it was nowhere near a monsoon. I mean, the winds were pretty gentle considering, at least here. I don't know about other parts of town because Tucson is microclimate city. Okay, you go over to Oro Valley and, they've got completely different weather than us. And they're also at a higher elevation, so if they get snow, they'll get snow sometimes when we won't get it. I mean, just 100 feet can make a difference out here. We're high desert, so. We just have not gotten the rain. And I don't know what point I was making with that, but we haven't gotten it. I was going to be talking about the rain, I don't know. I used to love cozy time when I traveled in a motorhome doing art shows for all those years. I used to enjoy getting in the motorhome during storms, but RVs, I'm sorry, this was a motorhome, not a trailer. It doesn't matter. They are all RVs, recreational vehicles. And they are just like, a hook for, you put them on a hook, they're like fodder for the tornadoes. Tornadoes love them. Okay. So then we do this one. I was watching another artist do portraits in felt tips. I'm just blown away by anybody who can do portraiture art with markers. I don't use them that much. And they are, they have their own all mediums have their own little idiosyncrasies. I used to use them a lot when I was young, but basically just to do little designs, okay? I remember being told by an instructor at, what did they call it? They didn't call it secretarial school. Maybe they did back in those days. This is where you went and, I already knew how to type, but they taught you how to type if you didn't. But they also taught you how to type faster with more accuracy, which is the big deal, and shorthand and taking notes and all that kind of crap. And I used to do my homework, and then I'd spend 4 times as much work doing little designs like this on the letterhead, on the paper that I typed it on. I'd have this beautiful little letterhead that I spent 5 hours on, and then the letter that I typed in 2 minutes or something. And the teacher said, "You should be an artist." Oh, guess I can't type that good. Actually, I can. And I type very fast. But, okay. Now those are done. Now is the time to decide what I want to do here and here and here and here. And I don't know. I think you know what, I am going to put just a little dots down there, just a little, And I'll do it with this guy, it'll be quicker. I'll just dot a few in there, okay? And then they'll kind of soak in. But it's fast. It'll give me even more of a differential. It is close to the red, but it's just a tiny area that is. And that was my whole point, was to kind of power up that red a little bit. And that did it. Yeah, I like that. Now you go here. Get in there. Yes, I put them back. Especially these, remember, they're not numbered. And would you please go in where you belong? There. They're not numbered and they're not named. So I have no way, except for how I took them out, to know how I put them in. And if I get too many pins out at once, then it makes it even harder. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to do peach and kind of a pale. If, oh, I can. Now, I actually have, oh, this is the color. This is that kind of a, this is kind of the yellow that I want. Yeah. See, it's not yellow. Oh, is it going to be too dark? Yeah, it is. Shoot. We're going to have to get that white, touch that up. Okay, you, doggone it, all right. Then that means this one. All right, let's try this one. Ah. Let me try this one. Yeah, there we go. Wow, this thing just dug right in and tore the paper apart immediately. Huh. You know what I'm going to do? Watch. I'm going to do this whole thing like this. Yeah. I don't know if that was wise because I am moving the printing ink around a bit. But it's faster. Plus, if I do it quick enough, I won't dissolve it before I get to move it. And that will keep this lighter. And then I can put the peach in. And this is sort of halfway between it. Yeah. Oh, you're not seeing me again. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I messed this up. I have no idea what I did to make the thing. It's at the top. We should have a full pan out. Hey, where are you? Where are you? Okay, let me find you. Are you there? No, not that one. Move over. There, stop. I'm telling myself in the past. There. Don't go any further. Don't go any further. Too late. Already moved. All right. Yeah, it's lifted the ink a little bit. Not much, but a little. You know, these inks, they don't promise anything here, right? But they do pretty good, you know, for quickly going over. If I did this a couple of times, no, they'd be lifting too much ink. There. Oh, I did it again. All right. I don't know why. All right. Let's put this back here. And what I want is a lighter peach. This worked good with the orange and that. Made it dark, but that's too bright. I want something desaturated. And I think you may be it. We are down, really? Boy, this looks like it's pink. This looks like it's pink. And on there, let's see what this looks like here. This is very subtle. Maybe too subtle. too subtle. That's okay. I'm going to give this all a chance to dry, and then I'm going to figure out what color I want in here. I don't want black. I'm going to have to be careful with, I kind of have this urge to put a kind of like an indigo or a midnight blue in there. Definitely not a pink. I don't want anything bright, but I don't want it to be black. So it's got to be a blue without getting too dark. I don't know if that's going to work. Let me see what I've got over here. These are awful close to that, but then they're going to be darker. Now, these are going to be too dark. This is the color I'd like to actually end up at, but if I use these are going to actually look black. So that's out of the question. That's what I don't like about this paper, is that I have to remember to take into consideration that it's sucking all the moisture because it's cheap pulp paper. I'm sorry, it's perfectly fine paper, okay? But I'm a little spoiled. And I don't want it to be purple. There's too much purple. I definitely want it to be blue. I don't want it to be turquoise. That's got too much color. I'm here again with the color chart. I'm going to look at this and see if this might work. As it darkens, it might be perfect. So where is he? 2 up, 3 in. We're going to try it. We're going to see what happens. And we're going to do it right on. Let's see, where are you? Let me find my thing again. There. Let me there. Yeah, okay. So let's try it. You know what we'll do? We'll use it instead of the black. Yes, this is going to work. I may have to. No, that's kind of what I want. Yes, it's definitely blue. It's not black. You can see it. If I have to, I'll bring the white in on it. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and do that and see what happens, because I'll get this just that dark and I'll try the white. Now, come back here and let me see how you work. Is it going to be too much? Yep, maybe. It's going to be too much, I'm afraid. Now, see, I want to mix my color. But, looky. Look what I just did. There we go. Oh, all right, so you just put a little in here, and then you just reblend it, okay, like that. And then you use that and reblend it. I'm having more luck blending these with these little pens than I've ever had normally. Now, do I like it or not? Let me look back here. Ow. What are we doing here? Where are you? You're way over that way. There. And let me look at that. It's not quite what I wanted. Now what I could try is there's this kind of a slate blue in several of these sets. It's too late on there. This has got one here. This has one right here. It's kind of greenish. But almost every big set has that color somewhere. Is this big enough? Did I see one on here? No. All right, it's too late for that, but I am going to try this. So that's 4 in, 4 up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Is that it? Yeah. That's right, this one. This was so weird. This looks like a silver pen. Look at it. Yeah, it's a silver pen. And so when I was looking for the color the other day to put, this is one of the boxes I spilled, to put it back in here, you know, I didn't look at this. I thought this was silver. It's not. It's not that. It's that pen. It's that color. See what I mean? Don't judge a pen by its case color. Oh, yeah, this is it. This goes right to that. It's exactly right. Yeah, that's sort of what I want. And I don't have to mess around. Now, let me see. This should be underneath there now. Interestingly, I'm using the fat pen. But there's a reason for that, because it's allowing me not to have, it wasn't sucking as much paint that way. So it wasn't as dark. But that's kind of what I wanted it to kind of look like this, but darker. All of those need another little kind of coating. I need another layer. Oh, shoot. I guess that one didn't. Doggone it, I made it too dark. But they lighten up, so that's all right. Okay, last one is here. I don't know if you can see it or not. All right. Oh, I missed the whole guy. And that was the one that I did. Okay. I have to go back. I don't know how I do that, but I do it a lot. They kind of... Oh, look, there's another little portion here, too. There. That was the one that had the white on it. That's okay. I got it. Right there. Just a little. Just a little. Okay. I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if I'm high enough. I don't think I am. There. Put that down in there. Make it a little darker down there. And you too. Yeah. So the bottom of that and the top of that. So this is moved too or something. Wow, this is really strange. Okay, it's looking good. Not quite done. I like that, but I gotta do those. I gotta pick that orangey color that I want. And then I gotta do some dots and some fancies. Like these little lines here, and I'm gonna do that everywhere. I think these are done. The leaves are done. So this whole section, it does not need any texture. These guys, I may do some little dots on them, okay? And that's all that needs in this area here. But this down here in the lettering, yeah, I've got to put something in there. And I have to think. Let's see. This is done. He's finished. This guy was done. interesting color. It's a very oddball color, some of these, but I like those. They can add some, you know, real... See, it's got this weird, slight green cast to it, which I like, because it sort of blends the leaves in. Because they're sitting out here all by themselves with all this green. Which, by the way, I know exactly what I'm going to do if I can find it. I'm going to pull some of that green down here. Now, I still have to do the peach, but let me pull the green out. Now, I need it to be opaque because I wish I had some fine points like that. I do not. I gave away a gel pen set, and I wished I hadn't now. But it was erasable. And the other thing is that you could erase it, and then if you put it in the refrigerator, the pen would come back again. At 45 degrees or something, you know, I don't know what it was, but that's how it erased, was heat. So wherever you used it, if it hit that pen and raised it to 45 or whatever the temperature was, that whatever markings you did or coloring you did disappeared until it got cold enough for it to come back. Because we tried it out, and then I said, put it in the freezer, and see if it comes back. And sure enough, there it was. I said, if heat makes it go away, cold is going to make it bring it back. And I thought, because I kind of liked them, they flowed nicely, and they were opaque, and blah, 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 and I thought, I better get rid of these. These might be a temptation for me. And then they would, I mean, if something that I needed, or I thought finished a painting, I use those for, and then it disappears depending on the temperature, which could be kind of interesting and fun, but not if you don't intend that to happen. Anyway, okay, I'm just sitting here talking like an idiot. Ooh, that's a nice shot, though. That really gives you a good shot of all the colors, doesn't it? And I just go and whack it out of your face. So this one, is that going to be opaque enough? 505. Let me get it. And hopefully I don't knock anything over. Well, why are you... Wait a minute. No. They're on top. He is 730. I knew something was wrong there. Okay. I should have put all my numbers underneath. It's underneath. It is instinctual for me to look, and I think almost everybody does. Things are usually notated underneath, and I put it on top. And because I did it in one place, I do it in others, and now, you know, and... All right. Oh, this is going to be... Oh, I know what I'll do with this instead. I will... All right. Do I want to put it in the bottom part, or I want to put it in the top? I don't want to put anything in the top part. I'm going to put it in the bottom part. But I'm going to do a linear line. And, uh-oh. Oh, no, he's hard as brick. What happened? What happened? Oh, no. Okay, I have to find another color. But oh my God, the whole thing's dried up on me. This is my 505. I love that. No, this is 730. 700, 730. Make it a 700. All right, if these are acrylics, that means that this is dead. How did that happen? Okay, it's wet in there. All right. All right, so if they're acrylics, here's what I'm going to do. Hold on a second, folks. I'm going to spritz that tip with alcohol. Okay, this is not an alcohol pen. Acrylics are water-based. But alcohol dissolves acrylic paint. From acrylic house paint to acrylic artist paint to these acrylic pens. It will dissolve. It's already softening it up. So all I have to do is soak that in a little bit of alcohol. Let me put some in the cap while I'm sitting here. Okay. And I'm going to set it over here and let it soak in that. Okay. And I should be able to get it flowing again. Should, I hope, because it's one of my favorite colors. And it's not like I can't buy another set, but I don't want to buy another set now. All right, let's try this one. Let's hope you're not. This one is too. They're all, oh, no, no, no. They're drying out. What? Oh, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. This one's okay. All right, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to spritz some alcohol in all of these before I shut them up. What an annoyance. All right, I don't know what I did with the other alcohol, but I got this little guy. He's mint flavored, but that's all right. It's not going to kill anything. All right. No, needs more. Sorry I'm doing this, but I want to use this. And if I don't get it, there we go. All right, let's use it over there too. In the meantime, I'll do, I'm so mad. I do have something else I could use, actually. He's over here. I could use this other paint pen. It's not as bright. All right, so 29. He is 4 in, 3 down. Okay. 1, 2, 3. There he is. Okay. We'll use this instead. I am surprised. Those are new sets for me, and I really like using them, but they're useless if they're going to dry up like that. Boy, this is really careful, isn't it? You're not seeing anything. What's going on here? All right. I don't even know if I can get this in your view. Let me try it up here and see if you have anything. The other thing I can do is tilt this a little. Okay, let's see what happens when that tilt comes in. Here you are. All right. I'm waiting for my pen, my finger. There he is. Okay, so he's down here. So let's bring this over this way and down like that and see if you see him a little better. Mine is right in that. No, that's too far. Mine's right in the text box of the chat. Let's try this. How's that? This is looking nice, isn't it? Okay, stop. That's perfect. All right, have to prep this. Okay, this is the old one. Shake it, and then you pump it. Okay. Now, I'm going to wipe it because these guys like to leak. And wish me luck because they also like to blob. I know I'm going to have to touch up the black, so I am just using this as an opportunity to draw past and have all the little blobs at the end of the line in an invisible area, which is where the black is, and which I'm going to touch up. Yeah, this was great. This is perfect. This is exactly the look I wanted. I like it. I have this thing about going in and marking lettering. You know, putting little marks inside of it. And, you know, I call it blinging it up. Oh, you're not seeing that. I needed to move it over. Blinging it up and giving it jewelry. Okay. Now that I like. Despite all the work I had to do to get there with bad pens. I'll check those later. It's not something I'm going to do now. I wasted enough time on that for you. But that looks nice. Oh, hush. All right, now we have everything done except the dots on the pink and then touching up the black. Now, I'm going to do, how big do, okay, let me see if this is going to work for me today. This has been very temperamental. All right? Don't you dare fall down there. Don't do it. This guy's empty. I got to fill him up. All right. Let's give him a little, okay, let's see if this is going to work. Yes, it is. As long as he doesn't choke. All right, I don't want to bring him completely down. I just want to have the fatter ones up here and then slowly bring them down and teeny have them fade out. Okay. Oh, you can't see again. I'm so sorry. I got to figure out how this did what it did. You know, up there, you should be seeing this whole area. So that camera has zoomed in. And when I pull it further up, it zooms further in. And I don't know how it's doing it because I didn't tell it to. I don't know what's going on. But welcome to Terryland. This kind of stuff happens to me all the time. It's not supposed to do that. I mean, I wanted it to do that. It would have been nice. If I could have had it do that and control it, that would be great, right? But it's not supposed to do it just on a whim for when it wants to. Okay? Now, oh, this is cute. See, now I like it. Before I got to this part here and did this, I was thinking this is ugly. But there's, ask everyone, I've said it before, every artist will tell you. There, are you coming out or are you just being a pain in the butt? There's always at least one ugly moment in every drawing, painting, pot you throw, everything. Every creative thing, every song. Think about it that way, you know? You're trying to get the lyrics and you know what you want to say and you're halfway there, like sock. I want to say sock. But what you really want to say, it's a woman's sock that's sheer and sexy, right? So that's not really a sock, it's a nylon, okay? And it might be a seamless nylon or, you know, nylon with a seam. See, words, okay? Little subtle differences. And they make a difference. I don't even know what I was talking about. That's what happens. Mind wanders. It's really irritating. I shouldn't have been quite so cruel to all the old people going, you told me that already 10,000 times. That's all I heard. 10,000 times. Why is all you people talk about is what hurts. And it's true. Because you wake up every morning and I swear to God, something new hurts. Okay? You just sit there and go, what's hurting now? Wait a minute. I don't even know I had anything like that. What are you talking about? My bahulak hurts, that I broke it, that it's wearing out. I don't even know what a bahulak is. I have a bahulak. Okay? Oh, now, and I made that up, and watch there be a bahulak in our body. And mine will be broken tomorrow morning. You got to treat old age like a damn comedy show, because if you don't, it'll kill you. Like it's not going to kill you anyway. But told the doctors, I said, relax. They did a lung biopsy, and she was very apologetic, and she felt really, really bad. We don't really know what it is, blah, 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 blah. And I said, you know what? Just relax. I said, first of all, I said, you've just entered Terryland, okay? That's the kind of crap that happens to me. I get an aneurysm, and I go in to find out how they're going to take care of it and find out that I have 3 more, that she had babies, okay? She was unmarried, too, that, you know. My body. I'm the kind of person that goes in for cancer testing and they don't know what's wrong with me. But I find out that I was exposed to valley fever. I don't know. Hey, I didn't know. I have felt fine. Not that I know of. I haven't been sick. Kitty hasn't been sick. I don't know. It's just Terryland, baby. If anything can go ass backwards, welcome to Terryland. And then I turned around to her and I said, you know, sooner or later something's going to get me. Just settle down. You know, yeah, I'm worried. Oh, I don't like this. This is so cute. Oh, wait a minute. How did you not get that? Now, where are you? Now, where are you looking? I did this whole thing underneath the lens. And it was on the, okay, I'm done. I thank God I actually am done, because this has become annoying. All right, that's the lens. This is where you're supposed to be shooting. Why are you shooting somewhere else? I'm using this. I'm gonna cover up this little weird turquoise thing that happened here. And I'm just going to do it this way. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. Alright? Even though this is definitely much lighter than the paper, and it's noticeable up close, it's not noticeable from far away. I love little squiggles coming out like that, little tendrils of things. I like them. I wonder if I should... I don't really want to, but what I don't know. I could always think about it and come back to this one day. If I just have 10 minutes, maybe I could draw little bubbles or something, you know? At this point, no. I really like how this turned out. Now, there's the white. This white, I don't think I'm going to use it anymore. I think everything's done here. I'm really sorry. This is just, man, this is not even anywhere near. Wow, this thing is like, it's inches off. My God. You know, if you take a picture a distance away, those inches could turn into yards. What is going on? I'm very confused. I'm going to be looking at that pretty soon after this is done. Let me think here. How am I looking? I did those. Nothing else. I really like it. Where is this stupid thing? I really like how the center of this turned out. It just looks like a kind of a pile of rocks. I love it. Okay? And then adding this in here, yeah, definitely. Now let's get this. I just ordered some more. I'm going to try some more out because I couldn't find any of these guys. I did find nothing but Uniball. Wait a minute. This is the Vision Elite. Yeah, I bought a box of these. I'll put those away later. I bought a box of those. Let me make sure everything is dry. Okay. Now, where are you? This is irritating. I used him already, and I'm not going to repeat the line. I think I like it the way it is. Kind of transparent. So, what I didn't do is, let me see about this guy here. I mean, look. Look. Yes? Oh, no, too dark. Wait a minute. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. No, too dark. Let me put him in here though, because I gotta repeat it at least. I don't like, that's too dark. See, that's doing that little trick again. Let me, maybe you will work. Let's try you. Oh no, you're weird. You're brown. Now, it doesn't even show that color here. Let's try this one. Alright, let me try this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I don't think that's right, but we'll try it. This is not too bad. I'd like it to have been a bit lighter, so that there was more contrast between it and the red. And not as much between it and the kind of buff yellow. I'm not going to change that over there. I don't think it's that big of a deal. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Okay. I'm just double checking to make sure that there's an even number. If not, then I'll double this up down here so it doesn't look weird. I'm going to put 2 next to each other. I'll put it on the bottom. I may go over that with white. I actually liked this lightness in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so far, so good, except for that one at the beginning. And he's going to be a messed up little guy anyway, because he's got all the weird colors that I did my tryouts on. Here we go. Now, this one may be a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's not. Okay. Good. That made my life easier. Oh, I'm doing it again. Okay. Yeah, well. Oh, I'm so irritated. Let me just, I'm glad you're watching, but I may just delete this. This was kind of a fiasco. I'm so sorry. Okay, now, I'm going to go in and cover that one up with a little bit of white. Where did you come from? Right here? And make that lighter. Now, let me see how much it's going to affect it. No, I'll just dot it. No, alright, that didn't work. Alright, let's try it this way. Okay, wait, how's that look? Okay. It almost matches the color, but that's alright. I kind of like what it did. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to do just a little white in the center, leave kind of a dark shade around the outside. That's perfect. Because the one where I did that is just ideal. It separates it, but brings it back almost to the same color, and I like that. Okay. Alright, just another little hit here. That's a nice little effect. I'll try to remember that. Put the darker color in first and then just put a little bit of white in the middle. And it gives it, it's an easy way to give it a nice shading and graduated tone. I will remember that as a nice little trick for teeny weeny little areas like that. Works great. Alright. There. Oh, well, that actually is gone. The paper is gone. There is a little hole there. I'm ordered some correction tape, and I'll put it on the back. That's very interesting, isn't it? Yeah, that's what happens. Look, 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 look. And it didn't have that many layers of stuff, but it took it out. That's, you know, it's not hard to do that on paper this thin. You know, wood pulp paper that thin, you're just melting it. Alright, this goes back over there. Again, I'm still drinking my iced coffee from this morning. And it's still cold. It's been a cool day here. Alright, let's start down here. Where are you? Are you there? I'm going to put all these out of the way. And then they're to be put away later. Get out. Get up there. And get these out of the way. And that way I can rotate everything easier. Because I don't need to test anything anymore. Now, where are you? Yeah, I'm right on the C. So, we're going to touch this up right here. Alright. And you will see how much of a difference it makes going back over and making sure that, because when it goes over, you know. Now here we should be alright. I'm going to touch up a little area here. And here. You're okay here. The purple just didn't disturb the black too much. Now here I actually corrected this S. It was such a tiny little area that I put a whiter area, bigger area in there. I think the book's okay here. But I think you're all right. But these lines are more opaque and they're covering the black, and we don't want that. Okay? So I'm touching all that up. But you don't have to go over the whole letter, okay? Because it's not affected. Just the areas that are being shot over. But I did it on purpose because you always get this little bump at the end of lines, and it bugs me. You pick it up, and if you're not really, really careful, and if you want to be that careful, you're going to be here all day, right? But if you get a black line to go into, it's quicker to touch up the black line than it is to try and deal with this. And you can't stop it right on the line because you'll get that little bump. Well, this one went to town, didn't he? But that didn't take nearly as long as I thought it was, because I didn't have to cover all of the letters. But I'm going to go over here and do the same exact thing. This is okay. I'm going to move everything over and put my finger down, double check again. Yeah, okay. How annoying. I think we're good with the green, but here we need some touch-up. Primarily because of that white. And here we need touch-up because of the little blue lines, and little aqua lines that we added in that I like so much. And then here, I'm just going to do this. They're thin, and they're not, because they got covered up. Oops. How are you looking? How are you looking? Okay, so we're going to go down here. that. You're good. You can use some help here. And you could use some help. Okay. Now. Oh, that was a little. You know, I don't think they look too bad in here. And this is a little thicker than that line, and I like the thinness of this line. I may leave these alone. They're not bad. Boy, it's not overcrossing too much. I don't think I've got, right now, I would need probably a .005, and they destroy so easy. They're just so teeny weeny. Let me see if I can do this very gently. Not bad, okay. But I think I'm going to stay away from those as much as I can. Okay. How are we looking here? These aren't bad, but now I have to do that because I did it on the other Monday. I like them to be even. And you need to be touched up. Okay, this is all okay here. Really? Is that making enough of a difference there for it to be worth the effort there? I don't think so. How are we doing on the pink up here? Oh, I do see one little area that could be touched up a little better in here. The pink is good. He's not over. You need some help here. Okay, and down here. You're good. How about you? Yeah, you could use some help. That's where I had to use that white. I think I got another delivery truck here. I ordered some tape and stuff that I need. It's supposed to be here sometime today. Okay, you need to be touched up. There you go. Whoa, I got a dot over there. You look pretty good. I'm going to leave him alone. He's not bad. Need to wipe the pin off a little bit. Where am I? Where was I? There is something I have to do. There's one more thing. These guys. Okay. Come on. If I have to, I'll mark on my finger. There we go. Okay. I forgot about the little dots that were black that are now going to be white. Okay. Gotta get them in there. You're being a good boy today. Yes, you are. You were being a pain in the butt yesterday. Oh, yeah, that helps these two. Brings more attention to them. And brings, it's more of a flow. Yeah, definitely need this. Oh, that, and it lightens it up too. Just, it pops that whole area. Now they don't look like they're so great. Glad I caught that. I didn't dislike it. There was nothing really bugging me, but this made a big difference in here. These little white dots. It's getting gummy, but that's okay. All right, let me see how I'm doing with the black. Here, you're going to need a touch-up. Let me do this before I get any further. Down there. Through here. And over there. And then around you. Okay, look good? Yeah. You little guys, because I did it on the other ones. And you actually need it. You're... Shoot. Sometimes I like these little fine lines, but they're so hard to get. I missed this one completely. I missed this one completely. Oh, I did. I missed the whole thing on the bottom here. The whole flower almost. I'm lifting my hand up because I don't know how wet those dots are. And I'm not too sure where they are again, so. There. Okay. I should go over all of the black in here because this is blacker than that black. And it's noticeable, but not so much that I think it's worth that effort. Okay, if this was an illustration, yeah, I'd do it. I've done illustrations like this, you know. They're good for book plates and stuff like that. You know, something like this would be nice. I actually have all these original drawings, so I can take this into Photoshop, pull this off, put it at the top, and make a border for a flyer or something out of it. Alright? I save all of my working files, always, because somebody comes up and says, I need this, you know, give you a couple $100 for it, and I'm going, sure, and in 5 minutes I'm done. But that's the whole point. That's how you make a living as an artist. You use your work for multiple purposes. It's like not having all your eggs in one basket. It's also like, what do they call that now? Multiple income streams, right? You draw a coloring book, right? You can also sell the pages separately. But those designs can also be used, and say you can go to, what is it, Stock Images or something? And you can load it up there, and they'll sell it to people looking for stuff like this. And those people will pay a percentage, and then you paid stock a percentage for hosting it, and then you get paid. You know, there's a lot of different ways to make money if you're an artist on the internet. Now, he's done. He's done. Well, I should kind of at least not let him drop in the middle of nowhere like that. Oh, I did that. What the dickens is... Oh, I know what that was. That was some weird little whatever they were that ended up in my drawing. Oh, now this I do have to fix there. Okay, I'm taking a good close look. The leaves aren't bothering me too much. So I'm kind of leaving him alone. Where are you? He's okay. He's okay. He's done. Alright, so we're on to the next one. And honestly, that's it. So we're almost done here, guys. Yay. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and make this all one there. No sense in stopping. Just go in here and do it. Make it smooth. Make it work. As Tim used to say on What's Its Face. Can't see that. I gotta come in from this direction there. You need to be touched up. Okay. You need line here because I don't know what that is. You need to be touched up. You're weird. You need to be rounded off. You're weird. Still need more white dots. And then I'm going to do this there. This one needs some help. Okay, now we've got you. Let's start him here. All right. there we go. We're not quite done yet. We have some more white dots that have to go in here. So let's get them in there. And my signature. So teeny weeny, wee bitty. Pop Art Diva 2016. Copyright 2016. I don't know how you put the dates on anymore now. You know? But back in those days you had to. Because they were limited to, I think you had to keep repaying. Oh, I think it's every 10 years you have to renew your copyrights and everything. These were copyrighted, not individually, they were copyrighted as the book, which was cheaper. But it covers them no matter what. So that's nice. We're done. Okay, now I'm going to take this off. Hold on a second. Sorry, my hand's in the way. Ooh, that's hot. Okay, let go. And I'm going to see. Why? Look at this. I swear to God, I'm going further and further away. I'm not kidding you. I am now another 1.5 feet away. My God, there. I don't know how that happened. But I'd like to know how that happened because it kept the same view as I moved this around. And then when I touched the screen and pinched it, it stopped. Now, if I could figure out what I did, that could be advantageous. But here it is. She's all done. Let's turn on it if I can. Oops, connecting. Okay, sorry about that. I just flitted out of existence there. But there she is. You want more close-ups? Good grief, we spent the whole time in this close. God, I'd love to know what I did. I have no idea how that worked. Let's see what this is. Ah! That's a flash. That turned my flash from my camera on. Cool. Got a little bit more lit up so you can see the colors a little better. Alright, guys. Well, that's it. We're done. Thank you for coming for the Saturday come paint with me and color yourself calm. Hopefully I'll be back next Saturday at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. In the meantime, if you would, please like, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If this was helpful for you and you enjoyed it, go visit me at popartdiva.com, and popartdiva.com will guide you to Shop Pop Art Diva, which is my shop online, and also it will lead you to my social media, TikTok, Pop Art Diva. Just, you'll find me somewhere. All one word, Pop Art Diva. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your weekend.